May the words of my mouth and the thoughts of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our salvation.
Amen.
Good news, everyone. Medics disagree on this matter, but the Bible is absolutely clear. It says this: bless the Lord, who brings forth wine to gladden the hearts of man. Women too. Rejoice then, rejoice. Alcohol is God ordained. Wine, of course, signals joy and celebration and community and concord, and it's something we share. Wine, although we don't always use it in this way, is best enjoyed in company, not on our own. And so the vineyard, the place where wine is grown and grapes are picked and pressed, is a central symbol in the scriptures for the community, the people of God, who work together, bringing all their different gifts and skills, and over time produce something which joins them together in harmony and allows them to enjoy one another's company. And today there are loads of stories about vineyards in the scriptures, but we've got two of them today. The first one Margie read to us is the Song of the Vineyard from Isaiah. And this vineyard is invested in heavily. Much care and love and toil is taken over it, and yet it doesn't produce good fruit. It produces sour grapes. And in response, God tears the whole lot down. The walls crumble, the brambles grow. It's destroyed. And in Jesus's retelling of the vineyard story, the problem is not that it's bad fruit that's grown. It is actually producing. It's just that the fruit is not being shared. And in this one, the vineyard is not destroyed, but taken away and given into the hands of others. The problem in this parable, this retelling of the vineyard parable, seems to lie with some confusion about what belongs to whom and who has a right to stuff. There is a verb used in it continually, which we don't get in English translation, but it means to take and receive, to give and to take, to receive. And it's used constantly about both the produce and the servants and slaves and people who come to the vineyard. And there's no give and take going on in this vineyard story. So the tenant farmers, first they don't give the fruit to those who come to receive it. And then, of course, they take the slaves, and they plan not only to keep the fruit for themselves, but eventually they plan to take the whole vineyard. Look, they say, here comes the son, let's kill him, and we can get his inheritance. And this is very much a pattern when we're concerned about which stuff we have a right to and what's rightfully ours. Our appetites increase, and our desire for the security of what we have means we think we need even more to protect what we had in the first place. So the tenants in the parable act as if they have a right to everything, and as if it all belongs to them, which is something we're familiar with, and we are not so very different. This week I've got into this terrible habit in lockdown. I confess to you now before God and my brothers and sisters that instead of getting straight out of bed as I used to first thing in the morning, I read the news, which is terrible. You just delay getting up. So anyway, sometimes I read some interesting things while I should be getting up. And this week I was reading about a young athlete. He's just become the 1800-meter champion, and he's predicted to be a great star in British athletics. And he was asked about his success. He's 23, very young, very applauded and lauded. Much is expected of him. And his name is Daniel Rowden. And this is what he said. Most of my athletic performance, to be honest, is just down to my genetics, which I have no control over. And the opportunities that I was given as a kid. I had a great running club down the road. I had really good coaches and training partners. And none of that was down to me. If other people had the same skills and the same opportunities, they may well run faster than I do. I could pat myself on my back for my achievements, but to be honest, it's not down to me. At the end of the day, God is in control, and I live my life to please him. And I was incredibly touched that someone so young and he's received so much fuss and attention could see that everything he had achieved was a gift. It was not a right, and he had actually done very little to earn it, and therefore it wasn't for his benefit. And although we're often rightly proud of our efforts in life, we know, if we think about it, that had we been born somewhere different with different circumstances, the outcome would have been very, very different. All that we have is a gift. But gift is also the wrong word, because gift implies that, you know, it's a gift to us. And actually, it's more of a loan, or maybe even loan is wrong. Maybe it's more of I mean, tool sounds wrong, but you know, it's equipment that we're given. Not just that we're given, but that we are. We are the gift. We are the loan. We are the tool, and it's given into our hands for us to use, not for ourselves, but for others. Now, today is also it's the Feast of St. Francis of Assisi today. And I know that our church wardens will be mightily pleased that I did not plump to have a pet blessing service in the church on the Feast of St. Francis of Assisi. But I love Franciscans, and one of my favourite kind of spiritual mentors is a contemporary Franciscan. And he believes that our journey in life requires us to learn 5 lessons. And usually it requires us to learn these the hard way, which is pretty much how we learn most things. And these are the lessons. 1, life is hard. 2, you are not that important. 3, your life is not about you. 4, you're not in control. And 5, you're gonna die. Sorry about that, but you're gonna die. So life is hard, you're not that important, your life is not about you. You're not in control, and you're gonna die. Now, hearing this, and often when we're actually learning this in practice and in our lived experience, makes us long to turn to that bottle of wine, which we hear that God has ordained to gladden our hearts. But it is good news. It is good news. It's liberating news. It's exciting news to learn these things, to live these things, to know these things deep within us. Your life is short, possibly glorious, but short. And the most important thing is it's not about you. Your life is not about you. You are a beautiful, unique, complex manifestation of something much bigger than your little life can hold, something much more glorious and significant. Life in all its fullness, abundant life, eternal life, the energy and power and relentless creativity of God is lived in and through you. When we grasp this truth, that not just the fruit of our lives does not belong to us, but we don't belong to ourselves, then of course the question no longer becomes, what do we own? What belongs rightly to us? What do we have a claim on? What do we have to give? What do we have to share? It becomes obvious that it's all for sharing. That is the point of a good bottle of wine. Trust me, it's better enjoyed. And that is the point of you and me. Rejoice then and be glad. Wine is made for sharing, and so are you.